get your mind together. Then come on across.
Well, tonight on The Experience, we're doing a show in which the first couple of segments, I think at the end of them, might leave you scratching your head a little bit and might even leave you a little bit angry as you go, there's something common sense that could be happening in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's a Senate bill, number 1191, that is languishing and has not been passed. And I think in about 10 minutes from now, you're going to be going, I don't get it, because I certainly don't understand it. And John, Luann, thank you both for coming by as well. You've been on the show in the past, and I mean, you know, we've talked about Michael's bill and your son. I mean, your son had an accident happen.
Correct.
And out of this, you turned your attention to what really is a common sense way to be able to help other young people, other young athletes who are out on whatever their field of endeavor is.
Correct.
And just make sure that there is an AED, you know, a life-saving device that can help them. Now, when I say that we have a Senate bill right now, and I have it in my hand, that is languishing, that would provide this.
Correct.
What in the world is going on?
Like you said, Hank, it's a no-brainer. It's dumbfounding. Back in, well, after Michael's passing in 2010, we got started working with our Senator Ryan Fatman, at the time Senator Moore. Ryan was our representative, and through time and a ton of help from the students, from family, from friends, we were able to get Michael's law passed, but unfortunately that did not mandate an AED into every school in the state of Massachusetts.
Can I ask what happened there? Because I mean, I remember when you were on the show at the time, and you know, I know that you get this asked all the time, and I'm sorry about that. But I mean, let's talk again about this fluke. It really was a fluke accident. Your son is an athlete, was in great shape.
Great shape. Second play of the game, caught a pass, picked up the first down, took a blow to the chest, went into sudden cardiac arrest. God bless Trooper Joe Hilton, who was the referee, started CPR on Michael immediately, knew he was in trouble. 911 was called. It took 15 minutes for the ambulance to arrive with no AED on the field. Time ran out. They rushed him to Mary Lane Hospital in Ware, 20 minutes away. They worked on him for 45 minutes, pronounced him dead, unfortunately.
So then you go to work. And Luann, if maybe you want to pick up the story, so now so you go to work, and as I said, you guys do something that I like to think maybe most of us would, but a lot of us wouldn't. I mean, a lot of us would just, I mean, our grief would overcome us. But you really went out there and worked and said, we can make a difference so that we can save somebody else that this happens to. We get Michael's law, but it seems as if you take the AED component out of it, I mean, you know, why would you do that?
Well, the reason they took it out was because they didn't have any funding for it, and they didn't want to mandate schools have something when budgets were so tight. So we agreed that we wanted to at least get a medical emergency response plan in place, Michael's law, so that the AEDs that were in buildings would at least be used properly instead of being locked up in a nurse's office, not accessible to who needed it. If an athlete was on the field and the building was locked, no one could get in to get it. So it really made awareness in the school population of who was trained, who needed to get what, where did it need to be when. So at least the few that were in buildings were now being properly utilized.
Right, and coaches to be able to, athletic directors be able to get some of this training, so because they're going to be the ones who are going to be out there on the field as well. So all right, so now that brings us back to the Senate bill.
Correct.
So what is happening with the Senate bill?
Well, if you look, there's I think 25 names on it that are in support of it, that are sponsoring it, that are behind it. This bill, and really I need your constituents, the folks that are watching out there tonight, to really pick up the phone and reach out to the State House, reach out to the governor's office, reach out to the committee, reach out to their senator, their representative, and say, let's get this bill passed as soon as possible. House goes on vacation, end of July, and it would have to then fall into the basket and get started all over again next year. Sometimes Massachusetts has two speeds, slow and dead stop, and they prefer dead stop. So unless the constituents get out there and yap and cry and scream and bang the drum, it doesn't happen. So we need people's help.
Fantastic. All right. Well, so we know what we have to do. Let me get a little bit, if I can, because I know that we can get a little bit of a demonstration. Now, how much does this actually cost?
They're around
$1,000.
$1,000. If you do a storm case, so it could be out in any weather, it's another couple $100. But
Well,
the
I
thing
know
I want
budgets are
people
tight,
to,
but,
I want
$1,000
people to
bucks.
know that if no school in Massachusetts had an AED, it would essentially cost each child a school lunch to put one in their building.
Wow.
I think any parent would be willing to send in a school lunch
Oh, absolutely.
to put an AED in their
Absolutely.
building.
And I mean, and the thing is, I mean, it could be any of our kids whose pictures are here
Right.
today, and that's the thing, and that's what, and I guess that's part of it, right? Because it's not my kids' pictures, I don't have to think about it, so I don't. But heaven forbid, you know, somebody today is watching this, and come September, their kid is out on that football field, and it happens, and they go, geez, I guess I should have called my senator.
And besides kids, 20% of any given population is in a school building in a given day, so it's there to protect them as well.
Right.
The other thing that this is the thing that was shocking to me, or us, I think, as we went forward, was finding out that sudden cardiac arrest is not rare. What is rare is to survive it. There's almost 300,000 people in this country that die every year of sudden cardiac arrest. And if it happens without an AED out of a hospital, less than 10% will survive it. So the AED is vital. And children, there's 5,000 to 7,000 that die every year. But because you don't hear about a bunch of them at once, it's here, it's there, it's not in the people's face as if it were more of a tragedy, you know, on a campus.
Yeah, no, exactly. So here we've got something that is the cost of it. Every kid, you know, coughs up their lunch money one day, and we can have this inside the school. How difficult is it to operate this?
Real easy.
Extremely
Real
easy.
You want to give them a demonstration?
All you have to do is actually, when you get the AED, is you turn it on, and as soon as you turn it on,
Unit, okay.
it will start talking to you.
Stay calm.
Okay.
Check responsiveness. Call
Has
for help.
everything inside.
Prompting you
Attach
all along the way.
defib pads to patient's bare chest.
So if the pads were then attached,
Don't touch patient.
gonna tell.
Analyzing.
Yeah, so it not only tells you everything along the way, but it's giving me a prompt through the pictures as
Yes.
well.
And it lights up each one
Analyze
as it
as
walks you
goes
through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real simple.
So it really
Shock
is
advised.
very simple to be able to do.
Yes.
And this
Touch
is what,
patient.
again,
Press
if we
flashing
call,
shock.
this is what the Senate bill would say, let's get these into the school.
Into every school.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it just
I mean, think about
makes
fundraisers,
so much
Hank.
sense. Yeah.
Whether there's a booster club, whether it's the PTO, whether it's the Knights of Columbus in the town, there's so many organizations that for $1,200 you could place an AED into every single school with a storm case, so it's part of the team. Like Luann said, the fact that Michael's Law got it out of the nurse's office being locked up where you couldn't get to it, it's basically useless, and put it out where it needed to be amongst the people. And to Luann's point too, it's not just there for the students, it's there for the adults, the grandparents, the coaches.
Exactly. Now, one of the things that you found along the way, and we want to bring them up in a moment, but you've found some allies in this as well, other people who have been going through this and are fighting this battle with you.
Absolutely.
Some real close friends who have also lost sons, and they're out there doing great work as well, Hank.
All right. Well, that's what we're going to be talking to straight ahead. But listen, so here's what we need to do, and I think in many years we probably haven't asked you to do this. If you could, please pick up that phone and give your state senator a call and say, hey, you guys are getting ready to go home for the summer. You've got to get this done before you do that. All right. Much more to come on the Hank Stolz Experience straight ahead.
In my heart, you're